Hi everyone. So it's been a pretty long time since I've made a video, but it's time because hey, Double Masters is upon us, and things are about to get kind of crazy. I am trying to make sense of what's going on here in terms of collector boosters. Are these things for real? Like, should we be shelling out for these things? What's going on, and how do we understand these collector boosters for Double Masters 2022? Well, the thing is, these are not really all that different from the VIP Master product, and we can do a little comparison between what's going on here in the collector booster contents and what we've seen with VIP Masters from the previous Double Masters. We just need to break this stuff down a little bit because this all looks really complicated, but let's figure out what actually matters by the numbers. Let's get into it. So here's some things that we want to know. First of all, what the heck is in the collector boosters? So that's what's going on over here, and let's go ahead and we can zoom in on this so that we can see it just a little bit better. So for the 2022 collector boosters, here's what you really need to know. There's some assorted foil commons and uncommons. Let's just ignore those. There's a couple of other things that I think we can kind of rule out as being super impactful. There are borderless commons and uncommons. They're coming from a special list. It's not any common and uncommon you can get in borderless. There's only 9 commons, and there's like, I think 30 something maybe uncommons that come in the borderless treatment. And the best I could tell, I've watched a bunch of pack openings, and it seems that these things come in about a 1-to-1 ratio. So you'll get about 50% of the time it's going to be a common, the other half it's going to be an uncommon. These are going to be really common, folks. I do not think they're going to hold a whole lot of value. These things show up in regular boosters quite a bit. The foil ones might end up being kind of decent. I'm not really sure. I don't think anybody really knows how these are going to shake out. So these ones are a bit of a wild card. My guess is the borderless ones are basically, you're not getting any value there. The foil ones, maybe. For the uncommons, maybe. But the supply is going to be very high. But then, all right, look at what's going on here. You're going to get 4 rares or mythics. There are a bunch of treatments now. There's a million variants. But this breakdown is actually really similar to how the VIP Masters from Double Masters Mark 1 worked. You're going to get a normal pack foil rare mythic and a foil etched one. These ones can be any rare mythic from the set. And from what I can tell, these things have the normal mythic drop rate, which I believe is 1 out of, I think, like 7-ish packs. That's by my calculations. I've watched, a whole bunch of these get opened. This seems to be it. All right. So that's very similar to what's going on for our good old-fashioned VIP Masters. So you get 2 foil rares or mythics. It was the normal mythic rate. It was any rare mythic in the set. It was kind of whatever. Sometimes you get something good, sometimes you don't. So this here, I think, works very similarly to what we saw with the VIP Masters. And sure, is foil etched cooler than normal foil? I don't know, maybe. It is the only way to get these foil etched things. Then again, as we've seen in the past, foil etched stuff doesn't necessarily hold all that much of a premium. It's not necessarily the definitive version of any of this stuff. So I don't see this being all that different. Here's where things get really interesting. In your collector booster, you're going to get a borderless and a foil borderless rare mythic. You may also get the crazy ultra textured cards. There's like 5 different textured cards. Apparently 3% of packs will have a textured foil. But here's what was actually a little surprising. By my reckoning, and I watched, again, a lot of packs get opened, I'm pretty confident that the drop rate here is a quarter of the time you're getting the mythic. That's interesting. Now, here's the other thing that's really interesting. These are on a special list. It's not any rare or mythic in the set. There are 30 rares and 20 mythics only that get this treatment. That's actually really valuable and really important to know because they tend to be the better rares or mythics. Down here, you could open the bulk, and it sucks. Just like over here, you could have opened those bulk rares or mythics and whatever. But just like the kind of crazy foil box topper greatness that we got with VIPs, you're getting a curated list with these two. The only difference is that they're not both foil. Only one of them is going to be foil. Another thing that's really different for the new one, though, this is not the only place you can get these. These also show up in draft booster packs. They're not very frequent, but they do show up. And that's something to consider. So what it really comes down to then is, what is the quality of the special list? And how does it stack up to what we had with the old VIP Masters? Now, the other thing to recognize, though, for our old VIP Masters, we had a 2-to-1 rare to mythic ratio. So we were getting a mythic 33% of the time instead of 25% of the time. So you were getting more of the mythic box toppers back in VIP Masters. Okay, the other difference, of course, is VIP Masters had all those freaking full art lands. It was kind of cool, actually. I mean, why the heck not? Those were nice. The unhinged ones, at least, were kind of desirable. Anyway, so how do we understand the value then? What I've sort of claimed so far is we can think of this stuff here as very equivalent to this stuff here. Really, the big money, the big value, what you're shelling out, $75 a pack for the collector boosters. The reason we were shelling out $100 for the old VIP Masters was those ultra special cards, the foil box topper or the whatever the heck these borderless cards are. Basically the same deal. So let's look at the quality. Now here's old VIP Masters stuff, just so you can get a grip of this. Now these, of course, have been out for 2 years, so the prices have changed quite a lot. Over the time. These are all for the foils. This was the foil stuff that you could only get in the VIP Masters. And you can see the overall quality of the card pool here. It was pretty high for the mythics. I mean, the worst mythic you could get was a Batterskull. And oh, what a shame, you got a Batterskull. And they sneak attack. On average, what the value of these mythics is $100. Yeah, it's pretty astounding. That's higher than it was at release. Okay, we know that. Now over on the rare side, yeah, we had some noteworthy duds. Nobody wanted the Meddling Mage. Okay, yeah, we know. Nobody really wanted the ones that were like commons. It was kind of frustrating. That said, even the Urzatron lands were actually kind of sweet and are still kind of hovering in that like $15 range. So not so bad, but on average, the things that were called rares, I'm putting them in like scare quotes, right, was like $23. Again, this was you were twice as likely to get a rare than a mythic. All right. What about the new stuff, the 2022? Well, here's our curated list, and I've put some prices here that mean almost nothing. This stuff is pre-sale. This is listed average price. For the non-foil, who the heck knows where these numbers are going to shake out, folks? We just don't know. But it gives you I've sorted them at least to give you a sense of quality. And I'd say just like the old VIP Masters, you're going to have some just monster hits. Mana Crypt, Force of Will. Here are your monster hits. There's like Imperial Seal, Mana Vault maybe, and some of these other, the Eldrazi Titans are great. And then, you get some kind of crummier ones. I mean, I think when all is said and done, nobody's really going to be wanting to open up some of these random commanders. Not just commander cards, there's like actual commanders in here. But the quality of the mythics is really high, just like it was for VIP. For the rares, it seems pretty decent. But very similar to, I think, what we saw with VIP Masters. You're going to have some great ones. VIP, you had Stoneforge Mystic, Cyclonic Rift. Those were pretty great. Here you're going to have, like, Divining Top, the Altar, Oracle. I mean, this is great. Force of Negation, Smothering Tithe, right? Like, I think the quality is actually probably a little bit better on the whole. But you're going to have some duds. Nobody wants the Anger of the Gods. Okay? Nobody's going to want that. Mimeoplasm, whatever. Even like Grimflayer, like, what are you doing here? People wanted this years ago. So there's some crappy ones, and you're going to have some duds. But there's going to be a lot of pretty strong ones. The difference, though, remember, your odds of getting a Mythic are actually lower with the new stuff. So, what do we think? collector boosters versus the VIP, I think these products are actually extraordinarily similar. I think they're going to age about the same way. The value is going to work out about the same. Honestly, the price point's about the same. I know it looks silly to have a single booster pack. I mean, they don't even have the big stupid packaging for the VIP anymore, but like, I think it's about the same thing. And in fact, you can get these for less than what the VIPs used to be. So I'm pretty high on these collector boosters, folks. I mean, that sounds bananas, but I think your point of comparison here is valid, and the VIPs have done really, really well. You know, the EV on one of these VIPs, you just crack one open, is still pretty good, and like, they sell sealed for a lot more than they did 2 years ago. So you be the judge, but this hopefully gives you some data to work with.